This is a rally that took place on Friday in Yemen against Israel. Folks, wait till you see the size of the crowd. See, Americans, Westerners, we have no idea that other parts of the world are gathering in massive numbers to denounce Israel and the United States for what they believe is genocide against Palestinian people. Which is the size of the entire Gaza population, right? So think of this as for every Gaza, one Yemeni stood up representing that Gaza in a protest. Who? The United States and Israel. So here is a massive outpouring of fury against Israel and the United States and support for the Gazans. And it's an indication of how quickly World War III is spreading, expanding, intensifying. You just don't know anything about this because you don't see this on Fox News or CNN. They don't want you to know that millions of people are enraged over U.S. foreign policy.
Hey, Shalom, this is your brother Yawanathon. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rekah Kwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. First precept I want to bring up for you guys is Revelation, the 17th chapter. We'll start at verse 12. The oncoming crash is going to set us free. Free in what sense? We don't have to uphold this standard that the world upholds anymore. The apostles and elders, man, they always say, man, you got to be Clark Kent in the world. And when we're on the highways and byways, when we're teaching, we're making our lessons, that's when we get to be Superman. And as Jacob's trouble pops off and this society unravels, we're not going to have to, save face for these people out in the world as much anymore. We're still going to have to, use wisdom. All right, obviously, in particular instances, but us being pigeonholed into what society deems is okay, we don't have to do that anymore. So in that sense, we're set free from the burden and standard from this world, even more so than we already are. Okay. Let me read this first real quick, and then I'll read Revelation 17. It says, for which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. Doing these lessons, being edified, understanding the prophecy, so as we see these things happening in the earth, we're getting excited, we're getting refreshed every day. We're like, oh man, we're closer to the kingdom, but we're still in these bodies, we're still under this devil's rule. So it's still, we still are afflicted, but the spirit is being refreshed and built up. And in the times to come, in order for you to to thrive and survive, it's going to have to be more spirit and less flesh. Okay, let's get to this Revelation 17 here. Okay, Revelation 17 and 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, those nations that sit with America, underneath America, with NATO and the EU, which have received no kingdom as of yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, they're on one accord with America and its agenda. And America is the main corporation that the elites of Esau use to push their vibration in the earth. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. So that war in heaven that they try to twist and butcher in Christianity, that's going to take place upon the return of our Lord, when he returns with his fathership and he completely decimates these people. That's written about in Revelation, the 16th chapter. It's alluded to in Joel, the 3rd chapter. Let's actually get both of those. All right, this is Joel 3 and 1. Okay, and let's talk about the nations being judged. And this is going to be via World War III. Okay, this is Joel 3 and 1. And it reads, for behold, In those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, all 12 tribes, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, all right, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Okay, so there's a people in the Holy Land that have parted the Lord's land. Okay, and over there in this area, Yahweh Shaphat, the coast of Iran, is where all the nations are going to be gathered pursuing the biblical prophecy, and the Lord is going to judge them. This is where that last great battle of Armageddon is going to take place. Joel 3:3, and have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink the captivity of our people. And that actually, these things literally happen. Okay, we were made a commodity. Boys were given in that way. You know, girls, our children, men, women, and children were all sold for products and as gifts. These people sent gifts one to another, and we were those gifts. This is the fourth verse. It says, "Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine?" Okay, it's not just the Edomites. You got Hamitic nations, all right? You got the Philistines. Okay, will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. So all the nations are going to be judged. Okay. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold to the Grecians. Okay. That ye might remove them far from their border. Okay. Who are the modern day Greeks? Esau, Edom. Go back to the ancient Greeks, but you have the Edomites as well. This isn't talking about the Israelite foreigners here when it says Grecians. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and I will return your recompense upon your own head. I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people afar off, for the Lord hath spoken it. Now, captivity, slavery is written in the scriptures. In the kingdom of heaven, we're not going to do the building up of the kingdom of heaven. There's never been a kingdom where you didn't have, the upper class, middle class, people of the lower class. They're going to be the same in the kingdom of heaven, but our kingdom is just going to be ruled in righteousness. All right. According to what the Lord deems right and wrong, and not according to man's own thoughts. And us being in rulership, even the people in the lower class, they're going to have eventually when the nations get to go back to their land, they're going to be in a much better case than even probably a middle class person here. Probably an upper class person here, because the food is going to be real. Okay, the earth is going to be refreshed. The educational system is going to be proper. Families going to be uplifted. The only people who aren't going to get to enjoy it in fullness are going to be the nation of Edom. Man, they get mercy killed because they're going to get the worst end of the slavery. Okay, let's go back to it here. Verse 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. So, taking your agricultural tools and making them weapons. You have nations who predominantly their economy focus around agriculture. Now they're gearing up for war. A prime example of that would be Japan. Okay. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. And there are many nations who once didn't have nuclear capability who now do. And also, when you read Joel, the 3rd chapter, this is before the kingdom of heaven is established. But when you read Micah, all right, and when it talks about the kingdom of heaven actually being established, all the nations are doing the reverse of this. So Joel, the 3rd chapter, is the prelude to the nation of Israel actually being set up. So this is just another point you could use to prove that the people in the land of day do not fit prophecy. Okay, before the kingdom of heaven is set up, a great war is going to be happening, and after that war, the nation of Israel is going to be set up as an everlasting kingdom. The nations aren't going to learn war anymore. Let's actually go to Micah really quick, and we'll come right back. Because when the so-called Ish people went over there in 1948, they got bombed that same night, and it's been war nonstop all over the world since they went into the land. So again, that's a huge strike. Now, this is Micah 4:1. We'll start at the top. The peaceful latter days. It says, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains. The mountains here represent governments. Okay? And the chief government on the earth, the sole world power on the earth, is going to be the nation of Israel. The house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come and say, come and let us come up to the mountain of the Lord, the government of the Lord, the people of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. The law is going to go forth out of Zion. And we shall walk in his paths, for the law shall go forth out of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. This is going to be the capital of the earth. And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords. Is the opposite of Joel, the 3rd chapter. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares. So the demilitarization is taking place upon us going back into the land. The true people going back into the land equals demilitarization for all of the world. Has that happened? And their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. But after World War II, after they went into that land, it's been little skirmishes nonstop. The Cold War was a great militarization. People built the two world powers building up nuclear arms, building up their nuclear arsenal. So again, huge strike here for the people that are claiming to be the bloodline descendants of Jacob. But all the world are coming to their senses about this man. And this is beautiful because this too is prophecy. Okay? And the only people that are going to go into detail about these prophecies are the true men of the Lord, because that's the spirit of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. It's the spirit of prophecy, Revelation 19:10. Okay, let's go to back to Revelation, the 17th chapter. And I also mentioned, what else did I mention? I mentioned 2nd Ezra 13. Let me actually go there first. This is 2nd Ezra 13, and we'll start at verse 6 here. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. So this is talking about the return of Yahushua when he comes back on that great fathership. The people in the world call them UFOs. To us, they are IFOs. They are identified flying objects. We know exactly what they are. You go to Ezekiel, the 1st chapter. Ezekiel even described them to you. This is verse 7. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. It was so big he couldn't see the beginning or end of it. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid. This is those nations in Joel, the 3rd chapter that we were reading about. They're going to be gathered together in the valley of Yahushua, right? Right? Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. They're the cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahushua, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Okay, so this is where that great judgment of all, he's going to get them all in one place, and they're going to think they're there to fight each other and to fight for their standing in the new world order. But in all actuality, they're just being gathered to be judged by the Most High and his son. Okay, verse 8, Salakia. And after I beheld this, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet there's fight. So they're going to stop fighting each other and turn to fight the Most High, even though They're going to be so afraid because the Lord's going to put the spirit on them to fight. He controls the steps of all men. Verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came with all their new technology and their weapons they're waiting to show off, he neither and peep what's going on here. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword. This is to illustrate to you effortlessness. Even though they're going to have all this weaponry and technology that's going to seem out of this world, the Lord is eons beyond anything they could come up with. He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips, out of this concentrated heat coming out of the chariot, laser beam, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, this concentrated fire. They were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, many soldiers, many people, nothing was to be perceived, but only the dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Think about seeing people as far as the eye can see. Ezra is being shown this vision. You're seeing people as far as the eye can see, and they all with their technology and weaponry. To Ezra, it probably seemed like they had magic and spiritual power themselves with the technology they had. But you see all these people coming to fight against this soul vessel, and for that vessel to completely eviscerate them in an instant. People as far as the eye can see, you can't even guesstimate how many people you're looking at, and for them to just be eviscerated in a moment, and all you can see is just dust and smoke, and they're gone. This is the power that's on our side. But before that, America's gonna get a different type of can of ass whooping open up on them. Okay, their enemies, all the nations there that they see as allies, they're gonna turn on America. They're gonna do something so foul that people are gonna be like, you know what, this place has to go. That their allies are gonna be like, you know what, this place has to go. All right, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and the King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Okay, so these horns, because I want to leave off of this here. All right, those nations that were at peace with America are gonna turn and burn this place with fire. Let's just start here at verse 6. Obadiah 1 and 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So there's not going to be reversing the anger, the bloodthirst they're going to have for you. Those people that profit off of you, make money with you, eat your bread. A trap is going to be laid for you. You're going to be wounded by these people, these nations. Those that were at peace with thee. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And this devil's getting horribly sloppy. Things that just wouldn't happen 10 years ago are happening. He's losing control of the narrative. He's being found out to be a liar at every turn. And it's only proving, the prophet's right. And we know that because these things are happening, we're getting closer and closer to this place completely unraveling, which is, is another level of us being set free. We already been set free in the mind, given this truth and this understanding, but it's going to be at a higher level the more this place falls. Okay. And, with that is going to come burdens to our flesh, obviously, but our spirit's going to be even more built up and renewed, because we're about to physically start tangibly seeing things that we could say, look at this. This is a step closer to the kingdom of heaven. This is why this happening. Tangible things, because right now we bring out all these prophecies. We talk about what's going to happen here in America, and the Lord judging people, but people walk by and they don't hear it. They click off. They get on there and they scoff. And the reason they're able to do that, the reason they think that way, is because these plagues that we're reading about that are happening in other parts of the world aren't touching them here. But we're stepping into a phase where the judgment of the Lord is about to touch these people here physically. All the scoffing is going to stop. That pride is going to be brought low, like the scriptures say. And that's something that, man, we long to see. And it's all going to be evidence to the carnal people that what we've been saying is true. We already seen the evidence with our spiritual eye, but just the common, niggard is going to be able to see it here soon. Okay. So that's that pack of nations that were confederate against us. They're gonna all turn on each other. Well, they're gonna turn on Esau, Edom, which is the chief nation, the chief enemy of the nation of Israel. Right. So let's read this Psalms 83:1. It says, "Keep not thou silence, O God," and he hasn't been keeping silence. The prophets are back on the scene, bringing out the prophecies, warning the people, telling our people that they're Israelites to repent. So the Lord is no longer silent. "For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, a pact, an agreement, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones." Okay, you look at that when they have these global meetings with representatives from every nation, our people are not represented. Okay, and they make laws and decrees and things that further push us to the bottom of the social totem pole. That push us even further down into serfdom, because you know most of the nations are slaves, but we're at the bottom of all of that, and he wants to make complete slaves of us. Um, he wants to take it all the way back to that cattle slavery. He wants to put us back in that kind of state, um, and do away with those who have a backbone to stand up against it. This is verse 3 here. "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation." All right. So they go around changing the names of all the nations, removing the landmarks, calling you a color. What other people upon the earth suffer from not being able to trace their family line back to a land? Not a continent, actual country, a family line. You're the only people on earth that's called black, a color. You're the only people on earth whose history starts within the past 500 years, and after that the lines get blurry. You could be anybody. You could be from any part of Africa. You're African. Oh, I'm not Ghanaian. I'm not Kenyan. I'm go. It has to go further back than that. Where are we from? You're the only people who suffer from this identity crisis on the earth. And then you got another people who say they're everybody. It's becoming more and more clear somebody's lying. It's not us, right? Verse 4, "They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation." It wasn't just Esau. He had helpers. So they got to get it too. "That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." For they have consulted together with one consent, like we read in Revelation, the 17th chapter. They got one mind. They're in agreement, the same way the Father and the Son are in agreement. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And then it starts to list off the nations that were involved. But they're going to start fighting amongst each other. And the primary nation going to be ready to get rid of is these people here, and especially America, where the greatest deliverance is going to take place. So the nations, man, they're fed up with this place, and it is getting to that point, man, where things are about to really start moving and popping off, and these things have to be. It has to happen for us to, cross over into that next phase, for us to get the kingdom, man. It's gonna be a dark time, but we've been given the spiritual answers to how to navigate it, while these people are going to be left in the dark. All right. So with that being said, Abaratazah, the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakak, Wadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your house.